last time Denver went into Seattle for a week 1 matchup, it was a welcome home party for Russell Wilson. This time it will be the Denver Broncos coming in with their rookie quarterback, Bo Nix, as the Seattle Seahawks definitely won the Russell Wilson trade. And I think they're going to absolutely gloat in this week 1 matchup here. We're going to break down the entire game here, some of the matchups to watch at the very end of the video, going to give our prediction. But before we get into that, help us out and subscribe to the Tracy Take as we try and reach 4,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And while you're at it, leave a like and a comment. Let us know who you think is going to win this game, what the final score will be. So as I said at the beginning of this video here, Denver Broncos coming back into Seattle here 2 years after that Russell Wilson trade, and Russell Wilson is no longer on the team for obvious reasons as well. And the Seattle Seahawks team, I think, are taking the steps in the right direction here to kind of get back to that 2022 form, which was a magical season for them and Geno Smith as well here. They're going to be healthy coming in, while the Broncos are clearly in the rebuild stages as well. Ryan, what do you think of both of these teams coming into this matchup here for week 1?
Yeah, I mean, the Broncos are in the midst of a rebuild, and the Seattle Seahawks are a borderline playoff team. I really think looking at this Broncos roster, like Cortland Sutton and Marvin Mims are an okay receiving tandem. Garrett Bowles is an aging offensive tackle. They signed Ben Powers and Mike McGlinchey in free agency last year. And so those are some good offensive linemen, but they didn't rank very well last year. Bo Nix was the 6th quarterback taken, and he has some desirable traits, and he seems to be taking well to the offense. However, he is a rookie quarterback who, like, historically, they have not done well in the NFL. So that's going to be tough. And looking at this defense, they have Pat Surtain, and then I really don't see anybody else that really threatens me on the defensive side of the ball for the Denver Broncos. So I know they have some other playmakers like John Franklin Myers. Zach Allen was a decent signing last year as well. But like I don't look at it and I don't see anybody that is very frightening. Where you go look at the Seahawks, where even in the secondary, so Reek Woolen, Devon Witherspoon, Julian Love is playing free safety, Rashawn Jenkins playing strong safety, Draymond Jones, Leonard Williams, Jonathan Hankins hopefully can have a better year for them as well. And even like offensive weapons wise, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Jake Bobo had a decent rookie season for being an undrafted guy. Last year, Derek Young and Laviska Shenault as kind of like the 5th and 6th guys going to be on special teams. All in all, like I just think the Seahawks are at a totally different stage where they're trying to maximize and take advantage of these players while they're able to keep them all on the same roster, where the Broncos are like trying to figure out if this team can even potentially compete at an NFL level.
Yeah, no, and it's interesting too because there's one of the comments in our Broncos like kind of season prediction series where we gave the floor and the ceiling, and someone said a comment like on what they were all able to do with Russell Wilson last year, and with Russell Wilson not really performing that well. I think he averaged like maybe 200 yards a game, and I think the thing for me when I look at this with Bo Nix is that at least Russell Wilson was a veteran quarterback. At least Bo Nix is going to be coming in here and not really fully knowing like what to expect going against these NFL defenses. And I think there's going to be more mistakes. Russell Wilson did a good job taking care of the ball last year. I think he only had 6 to 8 picks, I believe, as well. He had some definitely untimely turnovers, like fumbles and whatnot in some of those games. But in general, though, they were able to protect the ball. I wonder if that's going to be the thing for me on just how they're going to be able to do that in this game, as you kind of listed off the improved Seahawks defense. And they have Mike McDonald as well, who is the defensive coach out of Baltimore. And I'd say he did a pretty good job as a defensive coordinator in Baltimore. So maybe we'll have to see if that translates over here. So we'll get back to the games here in a second. But let's quickly take a look at what the betting market's saying as of right now on who the favorites are going to be. And if you do like to put a couple bucks down on NFL games, go ahead and click the link below in the description box. BetUS has a bunch of great promotions going on right now for first-time players here that you're not going to want to miss, including odds such as the ones that we're looking at as of the recording of this video, where the Seahawks are 5.5-point favorites coming into this game with the over-under at 42. We'll say typically most of the games so far in week one have been 3.5 points, kind of not like some teams maybe not pick them, but it's like this team clearly favored, but only by a field goal. 5.5 points to me, I feel like the Seahawks are going to win by at least a touchdown. That's kind of what I'm feeling as well. Just with the overall more explosive firepower, they have DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Then they do have Noah Fant still the tight end. Noah Fant still the tight end.
Yeah.
Going to have a amazing running back room with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet as well. With I would say an improved interior offensive line as well that they try to focus on in the offseason as well. A lot of draft picks also going there as well. So maybe we can keep on improving. But in general, though, offensively, I think I just see more ways that Geno Smith can lead touchdown drives versus this Broncos defense than vice versa.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it, too, honestly is going to come back to Bo Nix, and just going to be his first NFL game here. Doesn't really have the weapons. I know Jerry Jeudy wasn't the best receiver in Denver, but still losing him, though, it is going to be, I think, a decent loss for this team that already struggled with offensive production. If I go and look at it last year here, 24th in overall passing yards with 3,262. And because I think, and that included sacks. I think if we're talking about just Russell Wilson passing yards, I think he was maybe around 3,600. So just about 200 a week or so, maybe a little bit over 200 a week because that's including a bye week actually. So a little bit over 200 a week, which isn't super impressive in today's modern day NFL.
No, yeah. And that, like, I think Bo Nix has the potential to be the guy. This Broncos team needs so much that I don't know if it's worth it for them.
Well,
or I don't know that if they'll be able to really do anything.
Let's throw an olive branch over to the Broncos fans as well, kind of coming into the season here. It's one of the things we did say throughout the offseason, especially too before the draft, if there was going to be a quarterback that if you kind of would Sean Payton, or that was going to be a quarterback that most closely resembled Russell Wilson last year, if you look at his college production, it was Bo Nix. A lot of short dink and dunk type passes, high percentage throws. Then there was a couple deep ball throws as well. And when I looked at the Broncos offense last year, that's kind of what it was. Some dink and dunk throws, trying to get 3 or 4 yards at a time. And then there would be like a deep bomb to Marvin Mims or Cortland Sutton, like every now and then, trying to keep defense on their toes. That's kind of what, to me, Oregon's offense was last year. That's why he was able to be so high percentage. I think he broke the Mac Jones record, I think, at like 77 completion percentage or something stupid.
Yeah.
Like that. So
yeah, but he had he had a negative average depth of target.
So something like that, yeah. So it definitely was high percentage throws, which I think that's what they're going to try and do for this Broncos team here. It'll be interesting to watch here, kind of as we keep on learning, kind of how this Broncos team is going to shape up, who some of the key players are going to be. Because I do believe it's going to be a long season for Broncos fans. And I will say, I'm not getting paid to plug here, but if you go check, I'm sure Broncos fans, you all know that's good sports. You got to go follow that guy if you're not, because that dude is hilarious. I have a feeling he's going to be making a lot of more Broncos worst game videos this year.
Yeah. So with that being said, let's get into predictions really quick. It's kind of obvious. I'm going with Seattle. I think this is going to be a pretty one-sided game. Probably 35-17. I think is probably a good number there. Seattle's so much more talented. So
it's going to be a fun matchup, and I'm going with Seattle as well. I'll do maybe a little more conservative. I'll do maybe 24-10 or something like that. But it's going to be a fun matchup. I think watching Pat Surtain versus DK Metcalf. I think that's going to be the main matchup to watch. But that's just going to be the issue for this Broncos team, though. Is then how do you cover Tyler Lockett? How do you cover Jackson Smith and Jigba? How do you stop this running game as well? And the Broncos were 30th in rushing defense last year, also. And so,
but Seahawks didn't have a great rushing offense either.
True. Both teams have addressed the trenches. I will say though, I think the overall talent with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, I think is going to be enough to, win that battle in the long run over 4 quarters.
Yeah, I agree. So With that being said, let's go ahead and wrap this episode up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. It is the best way to help out the channel. Leave a comment down below on who you think is going to come out ahead. Will it be the Denver Broncos? Will it be the Seattle Seahawks? Other than that, we'll see you guys next time.